Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, hit the likes button and the subscribe button. And if you're passing through, of course, hit the subscribe button and the likes button. If you're returning, the likes button. The likes button, as I always say, helps my videos get in a rotation, and also the subscribe button. So, and also comment on the video. I asked you all to comment on my first video I did, and I didn't receive any comments. I don't think that if you guys didn't watch it or not, but that's okay. But I'm back for part 2 of the Gypsy Rose case. I wanted to kind of just share my comments. I did continue to watch the other parts of the video, finish watching the Gypsy Rose video, and finish it up and get my take. Now, on my first video that I did, you know, she kind of had my sympathy, because I was, you know, and I still do. I feel I'm kind of torn with what she's gone through, because she did have, you know, a hard life. But as I kind of went through the process and noticing what she was capable of, and noticing that she was aware of what she was doing, I kind of have a difference of opinion, and I'm kind of torn between two, because she has a manipulative side to her. As I'm reading and going through, I seen an interview with Mark Garagos, and he's an attorney here in California. And he did an interview with Banfield on the YouTube channel. She has a show, Dish Nation, I believe it is, on Dish Nation. And he did an interview with her. My daughters had been telling me that this guy, he had autism, and his capacity level was on the low spectrum side, so that he, you know, he was kind of low functioning. And she, of course, they said the Gypsy was kind of low functioning. But as I was going through and, you know, looking, she was doing the interviews and everything, and she seems a little bright, you know, brighter than what we thought that she was. She was, you know, like, for instance, in one part of the interview, when she had gone to the movies with her mom, she said that all he could come up with is, you know, something that he had told her, and I forget what it was. She said, and that's all you could come up with? And I'm thinking, well, you know, as for a little girl that has been kept, you know, home with her mom and sheltered, you know, you should know that he should come up. That's all he should come up with. You should, you know, that should probably be more on, you know, I don't know. Then, you know, she's making up I think it was, yeah, Facebook pages and all that. She knew how to do that sort of stuff. Of course, he did too, but he was autistic, and there's different spectrums of autism, I guess. But, you know, he said that she had sort of manipulated the situation, that she was the manipulator of this whole situation. I mean, she knew to go and steal the weapon that had unalived her mom. She planned how to do it. You know, she had everything set up on how to do it. So she had kind of manipulated this whole thing on how to do it. And I know that I said that I was going to come back and give my opinion on how, and if you didn't see my first part, go back and watch the first part. And then if you haven't seen, you know, the documentary on the Gypsy Rose case, you can also go back and watch it. I didn't give out very many details on what happened with Gypsy Rose, because I didn't know if you all had watched it. So I was just all over the place and kind of giving out little details here and there of what had happened in the documentary. But I didn't want to give out too many details. So I was just kind of, you know, all over the place. But, you know, this was, she was kind of, to me, now that I've gone back and I've looked at, you know, the first part, and then I've kind of gone and looked at the whole documentary now, and I'm interested to see his part, because I think that there is going to be, they are going to show his interview. And so I'm kind of interested to see what he says. I was kind of taken, and I'm not saying I'm taking sides or anything. I'm just kind of looking at it from both parts. And I do, she has had a hard life. I don't take that from her. You know, her mom was very manipulative with her. She did, you know, do a lot of cruel things to Gypsy in her lifetime. So Gypsy, you know, had a very hard life, and Gypsy is going to need a lot of counseling. You know, from what I seen from last night's episode, she's getting married, and she's already starting to manipulate this marriage that she's going into. Her husband had an interview. I mean, he was on the documentary. Well, now it's her husband because she's already married. But he had an interview where he said that, you know, she had called him, and while she was still incarcerated, and they had gotten into it. And, you know, she told him, "Oh, I don't think that we should be married. And as far as I'm concerned, we're separated," because she had been caught talking to one of her exes. And so she was saying, "Oh, I don't know, you know, if we should be married. And I think we've made a big mistake, and, you know, blah, blah, blah." And so she said, "You know, I consider us not married." So he says that she has a way of kind of telling him that she could see, you know, other people, and he knows that a lot of people, she could have anybody that she wants, and a lot of people are interested in dating Gypsy. So, you know, and she's kind of aware of that. So that is a manipulation within itself. So I see that, you know, and this guy's, you know, kind of on the heavy set side. And I see her getting out. Well, she's out already. She's released. And I see how she's going to take this and kind of manipulate him with the information that he has given. I can see her manipulating him because she thinks that, you know, there's a lot of people out there that want to date her. And now she's going to take that and use it to her advantage now, because she knows that, hey, there's all these people out here that want to date me. And so, you know, you better do this, or I can go and find someone else. And, you know, as she's manipulated not little Nicholas, but as she's manipulated Nicholas, and she's manipulated, you know, a lot of people in her, you know, throughout her life, I could see her now manipulating her husband. So I'm kind of on the fence, and my daughters had said this all along. And so we kind of had a debate watching the show, and they had said, you know, she's kind of manipulative. And, you know, I said, yeah, she does have a manipulative side. And now I actually see that she does have a very good, yeah, she's manipulative. So as I was watching it last night, I seen that come out as her husband was talking. And when he said that, I thought, you better be careful of what you're doing, and you better, you know, not to get your heart broke, because she is very, very manipulative. And I can see how she is going to, you know, take advantage of him and try to use that, you know, try to use that to her advantage. She's going to get her way with, you know, if he doesn't do something that she doesn't, that, you know, if he says no to her, it's going to be a big problem. And I can see that happening with her now. So I just think that, you know, they should have waited a little while before they got married. I think that she is still immature. I think that she needs a lot of counseling, because she's not had a real relationship. She hasn't had that chance to get out and have a relationship, period. She went from her mom's house into the jailhouse. And so she needs time to get herself together to actually uh, find herself, and to get to know herself as an individual person outside of being captive. She was held captive with her mother. She went into from her mom into another captive place, and I think that she just needs to be able to be herself by herself, to find herself. And I think that she just needed to give herself more time. And that's just my opinion. I don't think that she should have jumped into a marriage so soon. And that's just my opinion. I think that this is not going to last long. In my opinion, I think that she just jumped into something real soon. Do I think that she should have gotten out and Nicholas should have gotten a life sentence, and she should have only gotten 10 years when she was the mastermind behind it? I think that they should have gotten equal amounts of time, even though he actually did the unaliving. She helped plan it, and she was right behind. She planned the whole thing, from giving him the address, from feeding him the information of what was going on. She was that smart. I mean, this was a person, even though I know that they say that, when you're held captive, you kind of feed into you kind of protect your captors. You kind of fall in love with the captor and you protect him or whatever, and you find no way out. I get that and I understand that, but this was a person that knew that she could walk. This was a person that set up a Facebook page and was talking behind her mom's back. This was a person that went to the movies and was going to lose her virginity inside the handicapped bathroom inside the movie theater. She told a story to where she said that she was AR'd after he had unalived her mom. I don't know what to believe. I know that when the police found her at the residence of Nicholas, they said that she was there on her own free will, and there was videotape of her on her own free will being there. There was videotape taken where, there was all kind of vulgar language spoken, where he was, eating, and he was going to eat her and she was going to eat him, and, all of this language spoken. So, I just think it was just a whole manipulative ploy. I think talking to her, she is very intelligent. And I think that she just cooked up this whole manipulative plan to have her mom unalived so that she could be free. And I just, in my opinion, think that she should have gotten the same amount of time as he have. She, planned the whole thing, like I said, from, giving him the address, from stealing the weapon. She knew that. She knew enough to do that. She was smart enough to do that. She had latex gloves waiting outside on the front porch. She knew that not to touch anything on that weapon until those gloves were put on. She knew to hide in the bathroom until her mother was unalived and did not go out there. I mean, this was a girl that knew and had planned it from A to Z. And so I'm sorry if I don't agree with this autistic young man that is on the lower end of the spectrum. And this was a girl that had a little bit more intelligence than he had. And she manipulated the situation, that she's out and she's married and she's able to go on with her own life. And he has to sit in there and do the rest of his life behind bars while she's out gallivanting and taking pictures on social media and married and able to have kids and go on with her life. I don't agree with that. And I'm sorry. And this is my opinion. I don't agree with it. Now, I did have sympathy for her in my first video, and that was before. And I still, some of the things that I said in there, I still stand by that. I still agree. I don't agree with what her mother did to her. No, I don't. I don't agree with the abuse that she suffered behind her mother's hands. I don't agree with that. And I still say that she does need extensive therapy because she was manipulated tremendously by her mom. But I do say that she helped with this situation. And I don't think it's fair that this young man has to spend a lifetime behind bars and she gets out in 10 years. I don't agree with it because she goes in there with her little sad manipulative voice. And, when she was the mastermind behind the whole ploy. I don't agree with it. So they are appealing his case because his attorney, they said something did not defend him. There was some type of some loophole in the case that his attorney did not defend him, and so they're going to try to appeal to get it dropped down to where it's I think it's second degree murder, if I'm not mistaken, so that he could at least have a possibility of parole. But I just don't think that it's right. I know that there are going to be people coming, commenting, and that's, everybody has an opinion, and this is my opinion, and I don't agree with this. I don't agree with it. And, right is right and wrong is wrong. And even though he actually did the unaliving, she planned it and she manipulated. She found somebody that she could manipulate that was less smarter than she was. And she manipulated this young man and, had him to go along with her plan. And I just don't agree with, the sentencing. She's, I even heard, the interviews that, she's done since she's been out. There was an interview, I believe, on Good Morning America or one of the channels that she did. And they said, oh, you're, some people are saying, you're, out here, on social media, taking pictures. And, they mentioned this young man being incarcerated. And she goes, I'm really shy and this and that, but I'm just taking pictures. Well, if you're so shy, you're snapping pictures left and right. I can't tell that you're that shy. And I'm sorry, I'm just a little annoyed. I'm really annoyed because, you're not that shy. Because every time I turn around, there's a new picture of you snapping. And this young man is in there he's autistic and he's low spectrum. So he, it just, it just doesn't make sense. And it's a sad case all the way around. She, after listening to her interviews and, all of the interviews that she did, and, she just wanted to get out and live her life and, go on with her life. And, and I'm sure he wants to go on with his life as well. But because of you, Gypsy, he can't, because you manipulated him. And I think it's so unfair that, they didn't get some sort of, she should have gotten a longer sentencing. I'm not saying to give her a life sentence, but she should have at least gotten a longer sentence because she was the mastermind behind it. Even though he did the unaliving, she should have gotten a longer sentence. So that is my opinion after watching the second part of the Gypsy release. And, you guys feel free to comment on that if you would. And please hit the likes button. Please hit the subscribe button. And also the bells button. But please comment. And also, it's very important that you all like the videos and please view the videos. This year, I'm reaching for a goal. So if you would please hit the likes and the subscribe button. I would greatly appreciate it. And thank you all so much for my audiences that do take the time to watch my videos. I really appreciate it. And all the people that pass through, I thank you too. And please hit the subscribe button. But until next time, I will hopefully get some comments and let me know what you all think. But I am just annoyed. Annoyed that she's out walking around and snapping pictures. But leave a comment. But until next time, bye.